Hey guys, here are some of the members of CarbonNation talking about how Alicia Bishop made it normal for women to be beaten.
Right. You have women there that has never been touched by their husband until they seen Eligio put his hands on his women. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
I gotta say, the universe is making me do it. Like, Solar, he put his hands on Zola. She's pregnant. Fuck wrong with you?
Come on, man.
You alright? But then can we blame him? The man that he looks up to is telling him and showing him that this is okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's not okay.
It is not okay. Pregnant or not, you should not be putting your hands on a woman. What are you doing? Perpetuating the same generational curses that we're trying to fucking break.
And women, it's not okay to put your hands on your man.
It's not okay to put your hands on your man, but besides Nana, don't no woman put their hand on their man there. Boomy put his hands on his wife. According to Sunflower, he ain't never did that shit until he got the CarbonNation. It's not okay. Aaliyah put his hands on Nana and Malia. It is not okay. It's not.
To the point you can hear it in another room and everybody's like, oh, they'll
Fucking
be okay.
shit up, man.
It'll be okay.
And
No
then
one
the niggas think it's okay. They telling us not chill, everything gonna be alright. Baba G got it. He know what he doing. What?
You know what? And you know what? Zoka tried to call him out on it because the baby, was inside. So the baby got involved. And the thing is, like, you don't.
The baby got involved.
And
to where as though she has scratches on her face, on her back, on her arms, because they can't control themselves. The least you could have did was put the fucking baby out the room.
Which they did.
But they didn't do that until she was hurt.
And the thing is, like, when someone tried to call him on her shit, he said, mind your business.
4th of July?
Yeah.
When he beat the shit out of Nana? Okay. So what happened? All right, so the night of 4th of July, we walked to the park. All of us. We walked to the park, and it's a full moon. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We looking up at the sky, looking at the moon. It was beautiful. Nice ass vibe. But Aaliyah flirting with the other women. Nana gets upset. She doesn't like him flirting with other women. So it gets to a point when he start talking, and he like to talk. So he gets to talking. I don't remember what he was talking about, but he got us all standing around him while he talking. He drunk as shit. It's another thing.
Margaritas.
He need to stop fucking drinking.
Tequila.
My nigga, you already said that that's one of your demons. You already said that in Babylon you couldn't drink because you didn't know how to fucking control yourself. Anyway, yeah, he was drinking.
Patron.
And he looks at Nana, and he like, what's up with you? She says nothing. He was like, nah, you got something on your mind, talk. She was like, nothing. So he keep asking her. She keeps saying nothing. He ends up walking up to her. And I don't know, it's like he reached for her or something, and she did like this, like to wipe his hand away. So he grabs her by her neck and slams her on the fucking ground. Make us all get in a circle around them so can't nobody see what's going on. He continuously slamming on the ground, smacking her in her face, choking her until she can't fucking breathe, talking about, yeah, I'm the one that gives you life. I'm the one that lets you breathe. This shit went on for hours.
That's crazy.
To where as though he ended up taking her out the circle,
All the way down here.
all the way down to the end of the park, to keep doing it.
And laid on
Keep beating her ass. And then laid his big ass on top of her. Then started crying, please don't leave me. Bitch, what? What? Out of here. It's not okay. Then we get up and we go back to the house like shit ain't never happened. Shorty dress ripped. Nice ass dress. Blood on her scar. Scratches and shit all on her face. It's not that Nana don't want to leave this time, y'all. She's scared. She's scared that nigga can kill her. Because he said it. Now, he keeps saying it's because of his daughter. He keeps saying, I don't want to lose my daughter.
I'm telling us to go to the police. We don't fuck with the police.
You don't want to lose your daughter. Clearly, you do want to lose your daughter. Because if you didn't want to lose your daughter, you wouldn't be acting the way that you're acting. Mm-hmm. This behavior.
Got to stop. Got to. And that's the thing, what it is. It's not just mentally abusing. There's physical abuse being going on in there.
Exactly.
So that's why it needs to be dismembered.
So now here is Velvet talking about how Adelia made it a mission to beat her, but she's talking about this one particular day.
He beat me that day, and he made the men tighten up the circle, and everybody watched. And by the end of the beating, I was practically naked in the middle of that circle. And
he viciously beat her in a circle of men who watched and did nothing. And when he was done, he had ripped practically all her clothes off. I would imagine she only had her underwear on and breast was out. So he wanted to totally humiliate this young woman.
That was something that I had to deal with moving forward in CarbonNation, and I was very embarrassed about that.
Moving forward, there should have been no moving forward. It should have been authorities coming and arresting him for battery.
And I knew people did not look at me the same at that moment. And at that point, I was just trying to be there for the sake of my daughter, to see if it could work out to have a relationship with her father. And it just got worse and worse. Every moment that rolled by, it just got worse and worse. So every time I would not want to agree with how he wanted to live and what he wanted to do, it became very physically abusive. He would hit me in my face. He would choke me out. He would punch me. He would kick me. He would scream at me. He would slap me. Anything he could do, he would do, so that he could have full control over my mind. And I became scared the last time that I went back. I became mentally disturbed at that point of why would he even want to treat me that way? Because I'm not here to harm nobody. I'm not here to take nothing away from you. I just want to make the situation better because we have a daughter together.
So ladies, remember that a man will only treat you the way you allow him to treat you. If Velvet had left and stayed away, all right, I'm going to give her maybe coming back once. But you don't come back 4 times, not after you escape your abuser. So when he saw her coming back time and time again, he knew she was hooked on him and she couldn't leave him. No matter what she did or say, she could not leave him, because every time she'd leave for her freedom, she would come back. He didn't even have to go get her. That's how conditioned she was. And so every time she came back, it became worse because he figured out he can do her anything and she wouldn't report it and she would come back. So that is just a lesson to be learned. You leave the first time. If there's no therapy, you stay away. Because some relationships do work through therapy. People get help with their anger issues, where the husband may learn not to hit his wife. But if the man is refusing to go to therapy, then you have to keep your distance and call it a day with that relationship.
And why wouldn't you want to make the situation good for our daughter? After that beating, I really just couldn't turn that off. That hurted me so bad that
from that day, I had started to plan my escape. And when I started to plan my escape, it just didn't go well, because if I had shown any sign of leaving or any sign of not wanting to be around him, he was going to physically abuse me. And he did. You know, it got to the point where at the end, he just, you know, threatened to hit me. And I was like, no, I don't want to get hit. So I had to suppress how I felt. I had to suppress my worries and my doubts and everything. And I just kept moving on to proceed with my escape. And this was a couple months later, because he had took my documents. Like, he says that he makes it easy for people to leave, and he makes it easy for people to just walk away. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Anybody who's there who wants to leave, they have to ask him for permission to leave. And when they ask him for permission to leave, it's a speech, a day-long speech, if not 2 days long, of a speech to coerce them into staying, so that he can have control over all of the people. And what all of these people do is they wind up sneaking away, you know. So eventually, to backtrack to the me planning my escape when I was in Cali, he confiscated all of my documents. He took everything away from me, everything. And before that, the other times he like broke my phone because I was trying to leave. He broke my car, like my credit card. He broke it. Took all of my identification. So I was like, damn, what's the easiest way for me to at least have my passport and my ID so that I can get on a plane and be able to get Eliana through the border? Because, mind you, he neglected Eliana's paperwork in the process. So, you know what I'm saying? Talk about that. So now I have to make sure that I have a way to get to where I need to be this last time. So what I did was, I sat with myself in the bathroom and I cried. And I was like, damn, bro, why did I have to put myself through this again? Like, I just stayed strong in that moment. And I was like, it was because of this point. Vel, you needed to come to this point so that you can stop running back and forth, so that you can stop going back and forth. You needed this experience so that you can truly see. So, you know, after some time, of crying and stuff, I just got myself together, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to chalk it up, and I'm gonna have to do what he tells me to do so that I can reel my documents in. And it worked, you know. So during the process, I had to do everything he wanted me to do, and I was not happy. I had to make it seem like I was happy. So all of the times that y'all had seen me on live, you know, the marriage, like all that, I did not want to do any of that. I did not want to get married. I did not want to get on live. I did not want to talk. I did not want to say nothing. I didn't want to protect him. But I couldn't speak out because I knew that would become physically abusive for me. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to reel my documents in that way. So what I did was I participated in all the sexual activity. Like, it got to the point where he separated the women and the men, and he put us in 2 different houses, and he was in the house with the women, and the men were neglected, pretty much. And when he got all the women in the house together, that same day, he had proceeded to have sex with everybody. That same day, all of the women, including me. And he did whatever he wanted to with us. Whatever he wanted to. And he did it for about 2 weeks. Until, you know, the other women were like, well, Zoka, she wanted to be with Solar, and she was pregnant, you know, with Solar's baby, so she wanted to be with him, and Nature Boy was still having sex with her, and she didn't have a choice. She didn't have a choice. So she slept with him, and he wanted to. And Sheba wanted to be with him. Sheba wanted to be with Nature Boy. So she went behind True with the child, with True's child, to have sex with Nature Boy, and they did. And she was wanting to have a relationship with Nature Boy, with True's baby, with True there. And that didn't work out though, because Nature Boy doesn't like Sheba like that. So all of the other women want to have sex with him. Everybody's competing to have sex with him. And while he's got me out there sucking dick, while he's got me out there for everybody to see me in my essence.
So what she's saying is, to further humiliate her, he would have her give fellatio upon him, and everybody would be watching. This is what I'm gathering from what she's saying here. See, essentially, this was indeed a sex cult, because sex was on the main agenda at all times.
That shit is not cool, man. That shit is not cool, man, at all. Like, at all. And while he's out there trying to make it seem like I'm this sexual deviant or whatever, I'm telling you. So after a while, with the sexual activity and stuff, I had to zone out. Like, I had to zone out because I needed to get my documents, and I couldn't do that if I was to cause a scene and fight like I usually do. So, but in the inside, I was so hurt because at this point in my journey, like, every time I'll be around him, he'll separate me and Eliana. Like, I can't have a relationship with Ellie. I can't be a mother to Eliana. I have to rely on Aya and Ephraim and Malia to take care of my child and change her, to the point where Eliana would cry and scream and hit them because she didn't want them to change her diaper. And so she would cry for me. And every time I would go to console her or caress her, he would be like, "Oh, you always run into the child. You always run into Eliana to protect you and this and that." And I'm like,
All these testimonies are part of the healing process. People have to talk about their experience in order for them to go through their healing journey. And now we see Velvet and Solar breaking up, making up, and she's going back and forth. She don't know who she wants, what she wants. It's only because she's still healing. She's so confused as to what she wants in terms of a real man in her life. And she's not willing to do some of the things that they want her to do. She's still standing firm that she's not going to submit to certain things. And that's what's causing her to constantly break up in relationships. And I'm talking about her recent breakup with Solar. She is still going through her healing process. So if she's still broken, she cannot be good to anyone. She's got to take the time out with herself, just to be by herself and heal properly for the sake of her children.
I just want to put out there that nobody deserves to be treated like that. And even if people do go back and forth or whatever the case may be, like, you have to get to know somebody to understand why they do the things that they do and why they react the way that they react. Like, you have to get to know them. You have to talk to them. You can't just put them in a box and judge them for just off that alone. Be hurt as children. They really are. And I was at one point in time. These people are really hurt.
And she is absolutely right about that. A lot of times people gravitate to cults because they went through such trauma in their childhood that they're looking for a family. They're looking for a connection. And when they go on this journey, this soul-seeking journey, is to heal and to find and to search. And so basically they're lost trying to find themselves. And that's some people. Other people are really seeking God. And, everybody's on their own spiritual journey. But the basis, the root for some people is that childhood trauma, that they are so confused in trying to find who they are that they end up in the hands of people like Nature Boy in that search. So now here's another Carbon Nation member talking about Agilio beating Malia.
Because she has tried to run. She can't get away. When she runs, she gets beaten. She tried to leave, and she was attacked. And she was forced to stay. That is an actual fact. She was beaten for leaving. As he would say, he's putting her in her place, disciplining her. She was out of line. She embarrassed him online. She walked away in front of all those people online. So he had to check her, as he would call it, right? Eventually.
So essentially what this was, folks, Nature Boy just making up an excuse to beat Malia. And this is what went on time and time again. When she was sitting quietly like she was in this picture, he was calling her so many names. And it was almost like if he wanted to beat her. And he told her, if you even try me, I will. Pretty much, he was telling her he was going to beat her right there for the world to see again. It was almost as if he enjoyed beating her.
She gets completely exhausted and tired of the abuse. And even though she's totally brainwashed and she doesn't have her mind and she does not control, he has told her over and over again, though, if she tries to leave, that he will kill her. He says that he will kill her and bury her in the jungle and tell everyone that she left and they don't know where she is. These are his words verbatim. So not only has he threatened her life, she's afraid to leave. When she tries to leave, she gets beaten for it. And he tells her, we'll just kill you and bury you. This is not something that is entertainment or a joke. This is not something that can be taken lightly. Now, what I'm seeing, obviously, because he is on a public platform, that we just got that little itsy bitsy glimpse. And you guys now get to see what I've been saying to you and what everybody else has been speaking on after they leave there. Tanisha literally sat and talked to the family and said, this is what she deserves. She's a whore. And that she deserves to be beaten because she's disrespectful. And that this is what is needed because he's disciplining her and teaching her how to be a woman. This is a PSA announcement to you, Malia. Tashina, this is for you. Look me right in my eyes. This message is for you. Your life is in danger. Your life is in danger. I need you to understand what I'm saying to you. I know right now you're in isolation in the closet. I know you are, because that's where you went last time. When you tried to escape. When you tried to escape last time and ran and you slept in the park and you stole the phone. But there was no reception because, of course, he doesn't pay the cell phones. You only get to use Wi-Fi. On July 3rd, I was there. And I witnessed you try to escape. And I was right there and watched you get slapped down for trying to escape. I watched it. And I've apologized to you profusely.
The reason why she apologized profusely to Malia is because she's got a conscience. And she knows what Malia had been going through with Nature Boy. Nobody should have been through that. Not only did he abuse Malia, but he allowed other members to beat her.
But as I know that you are under this MK. I know that you're under his evil right now. Okay? And I know that your mind right now is sick. And what really happened to you from that sick man, that demon man, orchestrated a fight, egged you both on, DJ'd the fight, put on evil music to amp you up to go act like savages and beasts and monsters. Okay? This man isn't just beating their bodies. He has broken Malia's spirit. He has broken her soul. You can see she is completely empty. I speak life into Malia. I speak wholeness into Malia. I speak love into Malia. I speak healing into Malia. Malia, I know you. These women are in hell. They're in hell. They took hits. They were laying on them rocks. They took hits. These ladies need literal medical help and attention. And he will not send them to the hospital. When he knocked her out and held her by a headlock and put her unconscious and body slammed her in a headlock to the ground, she wanted to go to the hospital and he didn't take her. He didn't take her to the hospital. How he gonna take you to the hospital after he just pummeled you down and beat you to a pulp? Why would he do that? But you're not gonna tell me that I'm not gonna be able to express what I witnessed. That I'm not gonna be able to express my truth and the pain that it caused me, the trauma in my mind. To get those visions and images out of my head. I've never seen no shit like that. That doesn't make me not real. That's not normal. Beating the shit out of a woman is not normal. You have normalized beating a woman. Literally, that's what your message has been. It's normalcy. There's nothing normal about that. Hitting anyone, my sister, a man, a woman, anything, any sort of, that's not normal. That's my yacht 101. Non-violence is my yacht. Real shit. There are real women packing their bags and going over there, giving stimulus checks, giving their bank cards, giving credit cards, giving social security numbers. Okay? It's real life shit happening. Taking out loans on people's names that they don't even know. Okay? What I look like not speaking about it. I'm not speaking on someone else's karmic experience. I'm speaking on my experience. Hello? My experience. This happened to me. So clearly it's part of my journey as well. To learn and wake the fuck up. I had to wake Sybil's ass up. Right? I'm talking to you the way I talk to myself. I'm not doing anything I'm doing different to me. If you see me somebody up, beating somebody up, pummeling somebody down, check me. Are you crazy? And if I have the nerve to not humble myself and not to correct it, when you see somebody doing the wrong thing, what do? You do the right thing, right? Whatever right and wrong is. But I know abuse ain't right. That's nowhere in nature. You can't find it. The only thing you find is people, eating and hunger and whatever you got to do to survive to eat. But you ain't going to find nobody killing anybody and beating anybody to death because they have an opinion. She didn't even pop off that night. She wasn't popping off. She didn't do nothing crazy. Not that it would ever be deserved either way, but she didn't do anything crazy like that. So it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
So what else am I supposed to do?
I don't want you to what? Hold on, no. What you say I don't want now?
You don't want me to have my own tent. You don't want me to be by myself.
You don't want to have your own tent. You don't want to be by your own self. No, you don't.
So we heard Velvet telling Nature Boy she wants her own tent and she wants some other things. And he is not letting her have those things. And he dismissed it and he said, you don't want those things. No, you don't. And this was after one of those beatings. And pretty much he was letting her know it was his way or the highway. So this next audio is Nature Boy further abusing Malia verbally. And I'm running it just to give you guys a little glimpse, a little piece of what Malia had to endure verbally from Nature Boy daily, because he enjoyed physically abusing her as well as verbally, because he knew he had her mind totally.
Go ahead, devil. Go ahead, devil. Go ahead. You got that white man in you, don't you? Come on, devil. Tell him. Speak up, oh, stupid ass. Now put it on my T. Abuse, yes, I'm abusing them. Now to come do something about it. Call the cops. Call 911. Tell everybody, bitch. Devil. And you don't know what it is. This devil. She get on this camera and act. Tell them what it is. Yeah, I'm doing it at my own will. Bitch, you ain't shit. Fuck you. You know you trying to make these people feel sorry for you. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for you, motherfucker. You here because you made me here. Bitch, I ain't asked you to come here. You came here on your motherfucking own, ho. Fuck out of here. Bitch. Yeah, I'm abusing the bitch. Now come do something about save the hoe. Save her. Stupid. Save this whore. Save her. Stupid bitch. Now act up out this bitch. I'll show off on you. Malia, leave. Do you want to leave, Malia? Tell them what happened if you leave here. You'll go crazy, won't you? Tell them who Baba G is. God. Tell them.
Baba G is God.
Now confess it. Proclaim it. Tell these bitches on this mouth who I am.
Baba G is God.
It's one of the worst cases I have ever heard of someone verbally abusing another person. Malia sounded as if her entire spirit was taken out of her. So defeated. And yet, today, she still wants to go back. She's waiting for him to come out.
With due emphasis, tell them who I am. And I don't fuck who record this bitch, I'm God.
I did not include the entire thing because it was that disturbing, the verbal abuse that she endured.
You take shit off your hoe. I don't take shit off my bitch.
From viewing these films, I noticed Malia, whenever she's quiet, it triggers him. It would trigger him to abuse her because he did not like her being quiet. He would call her a devil, that she was plotting, that she was trying to leave, and so she could not be quiet. Here's another ex-CarbonNation member talking about the abuse that Malia suffered.
We were all in the group. We were all in the living room. He said to her, get on your knees right now, like flat on your face, right? And she gets on her knees and literally puts her head on the ground, which she thought that she was following the right orders, like, you know, put my head on the ground. He said, no, put your head flat on the fucking ground, right? She put her whole body flat on the ground, right? What he did after that, he kicked her in the stomach. I mean, kicked her in the stomach, like, while she was on the ground like that. So, this is what you get. Look at you. You hit yourself. Now, tell me. I'm there. I'm just sitting there like, it's okay. She's a woman. She's acting up right now, and her man is disciplining her. But that's wrong, bro.
So although he didn't speak out when it happened, now in hindsight, looking back years after, he can honestly say it was wrong. That tells me he's got some compassion, some humanity in his heart, in his soul, and he's on the road to redemption, and hopefully he can heal from his experience, because everyone has been traumatized based on what they saw when they were there. One of the horrific things that he just accounted that he witnessed himself, he said Nature Boy told Malia to lay flat on the floor. Her face was down, face down. She's laying straight with her face down as commanded to do, and he kicks her in the ribs. Now I'm still trying to wrap my head around what kind of mentality would you have to have for somebody to do those things to you and you still stay. You do not want to leave, because in the end, he's the one who put her on a plane and got her out of that home that they were renting, that he was renting at the time. He picked an argument with her, abused her verbally for her to leave, and she refused to leave because she said she wasn't going. And he told one of the guys to book a flight for her and get her out of there. That's how she left. And he knew if she had died there, that would have been the second death, and the authorities would have came down hard on him. Because at that time, I think he was afraid that she was going to die there like Mama D died there because she had lost so much weight and she was stinking from the infection that was up in her and all over her body. So he got her out of there, back to wherever she came from. And when she went home to her family, they put her in the hospital because she was that sick and found that so many things was wrong with her: liver, kidney, heart. And on top of all of that, she had a systemic infection. And the infection actually caused all these other system failures to go bad, like the liver, the kidney, the heart, etc. It was like the domino effect, where one thing went bad and everything else went bad. The infection was systemic. When you have a systemic infection, it causes total body failure. Everything starts going bad in the body. So he would tell Malia she didn't have any place to go when she had family. But he brainwashed her to believe that her family didn't love her. And this was the purpose of all the interviews that he was doing when you came into the camp. He would interview you because he was trying to find out your weaknesses. If you had family who loved you, your situation, if you had a job, if you had children, the status of you as an individual. That this is why some people he didn't mess with as much, because he knew that probably they would stand up to him, while other people he preyed on because he knew they were weak. And even the ones who were a little bit strong, like some of the women, he wanted to break them. But some of the other men who were strong, I noticed, they would leave. That's why there was a revolving door of people not staying, because the strong ones left. The weak ones really stayed behind. Now, some of the ones who say they're strong that stayed behind, that's all mouth service. But deep down inside, they were scared. They didn't have the self-confidence to leave, and so they stayed. And he recognized it as weakness. And so he would zero in on them and abuse them, like Velvet. In Velvet's situation, I think this is why she kept going back time and time again. I think 3 or 4 times she went back. She left and went back. It's because she didn't have that strong family ties to really help her. She was unemployed. She had no money. And getting back there in the world with 2 children, she realized that it was a struggle. But every time she went back, the maltreatment would get worse because he realized she needed him more than he needed her. And then he made sure that she had a child for him to further put her in that bind where it would be a struggle. But all she needed to do was get on the welfare system to start afresh. The welfare was meant for situations like that, where people are struggling, cannot survive, and need a starting point until they can do better for themselves. So young people out there who are struggling, get on the welfare system. If you don't have a job, you have children, you are in an abusive relationship that you don't want to go back to, and you feel compelled because you don't have any money to make it out there in the world, go to any welfare office and explain the situation. They will put you in emergency housing with those children. They will start your road to recovery by training you, some type of job training, and they will get financial aid for you, everything that you need, housing, whatever. But you have to start there. Do not go back. That's what the system was meant to do. When it started from the inception, it was meant to help those to get back on their feet. And that's what Velvet could have done. But she didn't. I don't know why she kept going back, but at least she has learned her lesson. And I think like she said, she would never return, and I believe her. But I believe there are 4 wives currently waiting for him to get out to resume the status of the nation that he created with these women, including Malia, unfortunately. YouTubers, I am over and out. Drop your comments. Don't forget to hit the like bell in case you haven't done so. Hit the subscribers bell in case you haven't done so. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching.